Okay, just a quick update. Haven't done one in quite a while, so try to do just a really quick one. So we'll turn the camera around. The Atmos speakers are up and playing. I still need to put the trim pieces around them to cover up the edges of the sheetrock showing right there. But we got one there, got another one over here. And this is using the Dayton Signature series drivers for the 8 and the 5, and then a Dayton reference tweeter. So we got those two, and then we got two more down here for the front. So a total of 4 Atmos speakers. I didn't really see the need to go with 6. So, and once I get those trimmed out, the theater's basically done. But you know, I'm probably going to put some acoustic panels in the back wall at some point. And I want to put something up there around where the projector is, because if the light gets left on in the control room, it's shining through that opening. So I'm going to build something around that to make it so the light doesn't shine through there if the light's on in there. So, but anyway, had an issue with the Valencia chairs. 2 of them, see that one and that one, the controllers failed. But the good news is those guys are have really good customer support. So even though these were out of warranty, because I had 2 of them fail, and also one had failed about a year ago, so a total of 3, they sold me one of these for like 40% off, and they gave me the other one for free. So that one back there didn't work at all. It was actually loading down the power supply, so something shorted. And this one worked, but the lights didn't work. So I thought that was a pretty good deal, and they were real easy to work with on that. So if you're interested in the Valencia, these are the Tuscanies, not the latest version. I bought these about 3 years ago or something. But if you're interested in theater chairs, Valencia is definitely a good company to work with. Even though they had some failures, they took care of it. So, and they also talked about the fact that they're working on making some changes to the controllers to improve reliability. I guess maybe they've had some others fail or something. So they're going to take care of it. So don't worry about that. So anyway, the theater's basically done. I mean, other than coming in later with these acoustic panels that I'll put back here. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet. Probably nothing as big as the ones over there. But maybe put 2 or 3 or 4 small ones on each side there or something. And come up with something decorative for that. So, but the only other thing that's really changed is that I cleaned up a bit outside. Even decorated a little bit. Go turn a light on over here. Cleaned up around the Altecs there. So we've got, I'm going to probably get some monitors and mount on the wall there. I'm also going to mount that little cinema sign there on the wall. Got a few decorations up. Got this now showing table where we can put refreshments and stuff when we have a group of us here. Got some chairs up here for when we're doing some like meetings and stuff. A friend of mine, Caesar, I got him in the director's chair there. He's in the movie business, and in fact, we just went out to LA recently. One of his short films that I was actually voicing that short film on the phone, and it won some awards and stuff at a film festival in Beverly Hills. So we were out there for that, and so while we were there, we shot another short film where I got to play the bad guy. I tried to rob an Uber driver. So anyway, now they're talking about expanding that short film, make it a little longer, do some shooting down in Mexico, where my character escapes to avoid justice. So, but anyway, so working on that, and so working on also a full-length film that we'll probably showcase to investors, do some screenings and stuff like that here in the theater. But anyway, so over here at the Altecs, I have gotten some 288 compression drivers And then there's some 902. These 902s were brand new, old stock, new old stock. So, and I got them for like $3.99 or something on eBay, which is dirt cheap. And these 288s, I got some new diaphragms to put in them, although the ones that are in there may or may not be okay. But I'm looking for some 311-90 horns to replace these 511 horns with. So anyway, that's something I'm looking for. Just keep checking eBay once in a while to try to find those 311s. So, but anyway, got it a little bit cleaner up here. Not so cluttered anymore. And it's, more presentable for having people over for watching movies and stuff. So working on some other projects downstairs. Let's go look at that. Okay, so I have gotten some Altec woofers that I'm doing some work on. These two white frames were 421s, and both in kind of bad shape. That one, the top plate, had glue had given way. Okay, we have an Altec 421 woofer magnet here that the top plate is not centered. You can see a big gap between it and the pole there, and it's so tight there you can't even pull the whole voice coil out. So I've got to figure out how to get this top plate off and recenter it. And so it had slid over against the pole piece, so the voice coil was just jammed in there. So I took the top plate off and I've got it glued back on. 3D printed a little jig to hold it centered while the glue's drying. In fact, I just glued that on a little while ago. But yeah, these are 421s. But anyway, I'm going to turn them into 416s basically. So I have to plug the vented pole piece, and then you have a vented, here's an old original Altec dust cap that's got the vent in it. You can see the screen mesh there maybe, if you get it just the right angle. But anyway, so I'm making these. Just buy the solid ones and cut that with a laser, and then make the vented dust caps for the 416, because the aftermarket Recon kits, the dust cap's all wrong. So, but anyway, and then for the Model 19s, I'm going to had PCB Way make these things. It's here's an original Altec plate over here. I think this one's for a Model 15, but it's uses the same plate. They have this piece on the back that's mounts the panel to put the crossover on, but what I'm doing instead is basically just put these other holes in here so that I can basically just screw something on, some offsets or something, and then mount something in the back to build the crossover on. And then I made these, put that the wrong direction. So made these Altec Model 19 labels to go on there. So anyway, so it'll make it look like an authentic Model 19 crossover. And then I've had several of those made, so if somebody out there is wanting to build some Model 19s, or for that matter some Model 15s, can also make skins for that. So, but anyway, and this plate has all the holes that the Altec one had, so it can be used for all the different models. I think the Santana uses the same plate, the Model 15 uses it, and I'm not sure what all, but there's several different models of crossovers from Altec that use that same plate, so I'll be able to make any of them basically. So, but anyway, and then the only other thing got going on is I did buy a 3D printer finally. It's the P1S from Bamboo, and that's what I printed the jig on to mount that top plate back on that magnet. So, but anyway, I bought a bunch of different, I'd never used 3D printers before, so I just bought a ton of different filaments to play with. So, but anyway, And of course, these are the speakers that I built for the class reunion that's coming up in October. These open baffle CBTs with 30. I had showed these once before on an earlier video. And then I built the woofers for them, which is two 15s, and it's open back with 2 inches of a fiber material in the back. Gives them a pretty good dispersion pattern that's cardioid. So this is going to be in high school gym, so having a more cardioid dispersion will help cut down on echo. So anyway, I've got to head off to Detroit, where I'm going to be there for work for a couple of weeks, and I'm also going to hook up with Tech Enthusiasm. I ordered the Kaleidoscape from him, and he's got it, so I'll pick it up while I'm there. And then when I get back, I'll put that in the system and maybe do another update. That's it for now.